These are the top 10 January transfer signings Manchester United have made so far. Now, the window only officially opened in the year of 2003, and in that time, United have made 16 January transfer signings, so this is going to be a hell of a list. And spoilers, Dongfang Zhu, I'm sorry, you didn't make the cut. I'm Sam Homewood, this is Full Time Devils, let's crack on. Number 10 is WILFRIED ZAHA. He's more on this list for what he's doing now than he was doing at Manchester United, but he was Fergie's last ever signing in January 2013, then he was loaned back to Palace for the remainder of the season. Under David Moyes, he didn't get much playing time, which started the inappropriate rumours that he had some sort of relationship with David Moyes' daughter. That wasn't ideal. Then he was loaned out to Cardiff, where Ole Gunnar Solskjaer questioned his work ethic. Number 9, January 2007, and Manchester United sign on loan HENRIK LARSSON. It was for 3 months during the Swedish off-season, and Sir Alex Ferguson praised everything about him during his stay. He said his work ethic was brilliant, his attitude was brilliant, his presence around the team was brilliant, and in his 13 appearances and 3 goals, Fergie said he would do anything to have him stay. However, he respected the Swedishman's promise to head back to Sweden and Helsingborg for the start of the new season. Number 8 is Chris Smalling. The paperwork was sorted out in January 2010 and the big move was done in the summer. He moved from Fulham to Manchester United, and in that time his form has been up and down, but he's won 2 league titles, an FA Cup, a League Cup, a Europa League, and is approaching his 300th appearance for the club, which is an incredible achievement for any player. It's January 2012. Manchester United's squad is beset with injury, it's looking very thin, there's a long season to go. So who could the club sign? Who could they turn to? Who could they find? How about one of the greatest midfielders of all time? Yeah, they signed Paul Scholes 6 months after he retired. Fergie got the paperwork done and Scholes made a surprise return at the Etihad against Manchester City in the FA Cup, and they won 3-2 and it was amazing. And then 18 months later, Scholes retired for a second time, having just helped the club win title number 20. Well worth it. 5 and 6, it's Fabio and Rafael da Silva. The Brazilian twins that lit up Old Trafford signed for the club in July 2008. However, they were able to come and train from January 2008. They could only sign officially in the summer when they turned 18. And what careers they had. I am still honestly gutted that Louis van Gaal sold Rafael. He's just so brilliant. His heart was so big and all of it loved Manchester United. The guy was wonderful. Fabio didn't quite have the same impact, but he was still fun because twins. The 4th best January signing Manchester United have ever made? It's Louis ZAHA. 42 goals in 124 appearances for the Frenchman is a very good return, especially when you consider that he was beset with injuries. He was constantly in the treatment room despite all of his talent, which was a real shame. His career could have been so much better at United. However, keep this in mind, Rio Ferdinand told Harry Redknapp that he was the best finisher he'd ever played with, which prompted Harry Redknapp to buy him when he was manager of Spurs. That's how highly thought of he was by the players at Manchester United. And he won 2 league titles, a League Cup and the Champions League. Not too bad. Number 3, he had to be number 3, it's Paddy EVRA. The Frenchman won 5 league titles at Manchester United, he won 3 League Cups, he won the Champions League and he even lifted the Club World Cup. And this is how good Paddy EVRA was at Manchester United, that for 22 seconds after a wonder goal against Bayern Munich, he made David Moyes more successful in a game of football than Pep Guardiola. Paddy EVRA did that. That's how good he was. Number 2, the only good thing David Moyes did at Manchester United was signing Juan Mata, and he is at number 2 on this list. He cost £37.5 million and arrived via helicopter, which was very, very James Bond and very appropriate of Juan Mata, and he has been a talisman in a squad that's been constantly changing, constantly sort of getting better, sometimes getting worse. He's always working hard, he's always creating chances, he's often scoring goals, and he's won a League Cup, an FA Cup and a Europa League so far, and I'm sure he will add to that. Number 1, and Manchester United's greatest ever January signing, the man mountain Nemanja Vidic. He comes from Serbia and allegedly he will murder you. He was so hard, he terrified centre forwards up and down the country and across Europe. He captained Manchester United until he left when injuries had finally caught up with him. But if you've ever imagined the concept of someone putting their body on the line, it has never lived more literally than in Manchester United when Nemanja Vidic played at centre-back with Rio Ferdinand. There was nothing he wouldn't do. There was no one he wouldn't tackle. We won't mention Torres and the fact that he kept getting sent off against him. But apart from that, he was phenomenal, and that is why he is our number 1. So those are our top 10. What do you think? I'm sorry, maybe you disagree. Maybe you think Valdez or Rodrigo Possebon or, I don't know, Zoran Tozic should be on that list. Let us know, get it in the comments below. Or do you think somebody we could buy this January could make it onto this list in the future? When you look at the contenders, it's almost guaranteed. Let us know what you think. Get it in the comments and we'll see you next time.